Please take your seat. Thank you, Ma'am Soflit, for that very kind introduction. Sorry, I was wrong when I told you that I did not prepare a speech. Ngayon palang ginawa sa akin ng speech writer ko. Kaya, pagbigyan mo na ako basahin ko ito dahil pupunti lang naman, ilang pages lang. The MOPC President, Jose Madaling Mahuli, is not around, who is with the President. Chairman of the Board, Antonio Lopez, officers and members of the MOPC, honored guests, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. This is my first time to face the Manila Overseas Press Club in my capacity as the Chief PNP. And I am truly honored to be with the fine gentlemen and beautiful ladies of the nation's oldest press club. Kinakabahan man ako, masaya naman akong haharap sa inyo sa pagkataon ito. The MOPC has been in existence in 1945 or a good 71 years ago, and as such has certainly been witness to the unfolding of the nation's recent history. And with this history now continuing to unfold, the Philippine National Police shares more historic moments to its pages as we heed the President's call for change in the entire country. I like to think that this is an interesting time in our history, given the vicious war against illegal drugs and crime that we have been waging since President Duterte came to power. I say interesting because never in the history of the PNP we have waged such relentless war against illegal drugs and crime all over the country. And never have we seen such large numbers of surrenderers in our anti-drug campaign. After I took my oath as Chief PNP in July, I wasted no time in getting down to work, given the President's directive to the PNP to eradicate the illegal drug menace in 6 months. It was indeed a tall order, but it was one I was ready to heed at all costs. Fortunately for me, the 6 months was extended by the President to another 6 months or so. This was after we all saw how deep and extensive the illegal drug menace has affected our country. Sobrang nagkakabahala na ito at tunay na nakakalungkot at nakakagalit. As I assume command over the PNP, we took what we now call a big leap on administration, transformation, and operations. High on our agenda, of course, is the war on illegal drugs through campaign plan Double Barrel with Oplan Tokhang and Project HBT or High Value Target as its components. We have reached the 2 million mark in the implementation of Oplan Tokhang from July 1 to October 18, with police operatives visiting a total of 2,247,981 homes nationwide to convince suspected illegal drug users and pushers to surrender, stop their illegal activities, and mend their ways. This has resulted in the surrender of 746,066 drug personalities, of which 691,788 are users and 54,278 are pushers. A total of 29,910 have been arrested, while 1,661 have been killed in anti-drug operations. This was not without losses on the part of the police. However, with 13 policemen losing their lives during encounters with drug personalities and 40 others sustaining injuries in the line of duty. The discovery and dismantling of Shabu laboratories in different parts of the country contributed significantly to the decline in the illegal drug supply. Among those dismantled were the biggest Shabu laboratory in the country located in Araya, Pampanga, another Shabu laboratory in Barangay Lingunan in Valenzuela City, a Shabu Tiangi in Marawi City, another clandestine laboratory in Las Piñas City, a floating Shabu laboratory at the seawaters of Subic in Zambales, a drug storage in Angeles City, and another Shabu lab in Magalang, Pampanga. And just yesterday, I visited another mega Shabu laboratory that was raided by our anti-illegal drugs group operatives together with the PDEA in Kawayan, Isabela. This is of course highlighted by the raid of the new Bilibid prisons that led to the relief of the usual jail guards and the deployment of more than 300 Special Action Force troopers to secure the area. From July to September 2016, government anti-illegal drug operations netted 16.363 billion worth of Shabu, which is 4 times higher than the confiscations recorded last year. So we can just imagine how much illegal drugs have been going around the country these past years, destroying the lives of our countrymen. We are targeting 3 foreign drug rings operating in the country, which are using our coastlines, airports, and seaports, and even mail and parcel services to transport illegal drugs, including controlled precursors and essential chemicals. I am talking about the Filipino-Chinese drug syndicates, the African drug syndicates, and the Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel. We have our hands full and are working 24/7. We cannot afford to waste any more time in this campaign. Maraming bumabati ko sa kampanyang ito, ngunit alam nating mas maraming natutuwa sa ating mga tagumpay laban sa droga. The bottom line is that the figures I mentioned earlier and the successful operations now translate to less illegal drugs and less crime in the country. The incidence of rape, physical injuries, robbery, theft, and kidnapping have significantly decreased. With less drugs to destroy the lives of our countrymen, especially our youth, and the resulting less crime in the streets. We now expect less fear and go about their daily lives. Hindi natitinag ang pulisya, and we will continue with our rock-hard determination to finish our mission. Double barrel remains in force as we now evaluate the achievements of the past 3 months with lessons learned from our initial operations, and with even more lessons gained from the Colombia experience in successfully battling the drug menace, which I had the opportunity to see during my recent trip to Colombia. We now hope to implement better and stronger double barrel operations to finally flush out illegal drugs in the country. We will be coming out with a double barrel 2 very soon. At this point, I want to assure you and the rest of our countrymen that while the PNP has been focusing its efforts and resources in the war against illegal drugs, we have not been remiss in our other campaigns. We continue to operate relentlessly against carnap, kidnap or ransom, and other criminal gangs, and conduct operations against illegal logging, illegal fishing, smuggling, piracy, and lost firearms among others. And as I have declared recently, an intensified drive against illegal gambling is next in our list after the illegal drug war. We have taken the big leap in the campaign against crime and illegal drugs, and the gains have been so far tremendous. But we are taking similar leaps as well in the pursuance of our administrative goals and transformation agenda while we continue the President's directives. Our vision as the nation's premier law enforcement agency is not lost on us. We still aim for a PNP that is highly capable, effective, and credible. A PNP that works in partnership with a responsive community towards the attainment of a safer place to live, work, and do business. Along this line, we are also cleansing our own ranks of police scalawags and misfits. I have told my men that I profess a zero tolerance for police personnel involved in illegal drugs, especially the so-called ninja cops. Sabi ko kanina sa aming command conference, it's just terminated a while ago. No mercy. My policy is no mercy for these ninja cops. No mercy. This is why we have been conducting random drug tests in police units nationwide, and we continue to investigate police personnel suspected of involvement in the illegal drug trade. As of the latest report, 164 PNP personnel have tested positive for illegal drug use, and 7 of these are civilian employees. They have been given the appropriate sanctions. While we punish police scalawags and misfits, we make sure to reward the deserving members of the organization. This past 2 months, I have gone around all the PNP camps on command visits to give awards to personnel and units that are working hard to check on the moral and welfare of our personnel on the ground. And of course, to encourage them more to do better in the performance of their duties. I want to ensure that they remain motivated and properly trained in their functions as police officers. And I know that if I take care of my men, they will take better care of our countrymen. With the gains that we have posted in the past few months, there remains much to do. We are intensifying Project Double Barrel. We have more houses to visit in Auckland, Tokhang. We are setting our sights on high-value targets in our anti-illegal drug campaign, which include exclusive villages and personalities. We have 3 foreign illegal drug rings in the crosshairs of our operations. We have the war on illegal gambling next in our list. And while we are doing all that, we continue to patrol the streets, respond to emergency calls, assist in fixing the traffic problems, render rescue and relief services during calamities, and render other police services that our countrymen need. We have a police population of only about 160,000, serving more than 100 million Filipinos. But we remain undaunted because we are deeply committed to serving and protecting the nation at all costs. At this point in time, there's no stopping us from doing our job as the servants and protectors of the people. I have been telling my detractors they can criticize us to high heavens, but they cannot stop us. We have a mission to do, and we shall accomplish this mission. With that, I thank you again for this honor and opportunity to address the MOPC tonight. Magkaisa po tayo tungo sa pagbabago. Maraming salamat po. Mabuhay kayo.
Thank you, General Rasa. We now go into the open forum of our program tonight. And we would like to request, I think we will have a panel, right?
Yeah, the panel is composed of Cedric Castigo, GMA7, Dominic Orvilla Suarez, Television, Philippine Star Columnist, and Jeff Caparas of TV5. First question, Cedric.
Hello, sir. Hello. How would you like to go first? Would you like to go first? Would you like to go first?
Okay. Good evening, General. Thank you for your very enlightening message. I'd like to ask, what lessons have you learned from your visit in Colombia? Can you give us an idea? Or have they, the Colombian authorities, learned lessons from your experience here?
Both. What I've learned from them is that the police has to fight for legislations in the Congress to become effective in our war on drugs. Sa kanila po, kaya sila naging successful, that is, pabayaan mo lang muna yung nagsasabi na hindi sila successful. Pero para sa kanila po, sabi nila ng police, successful sila. And I will explain that later. Sa kanila, they have a law that if you are yung police, for the police, if you have a suspected drug personality or a drug trafficker, you can just apply to the fiscal, not to the court, the fiscal, for authority to conduct wiretapping operations against the suspected drug trafficker. Kaya, hindi sila nahirapan sa kanilang operations. Napakadali lang, punta ka lang sa fiscal. You don't have to convince him to yung kagaya sa atin. Pupunta ka sa court, ang dami mong kailangan ipaliwanag at talaga i-convince mo yung court na gusto mo bago ka mabigyan ng authority itong conduct wiretapping operations. Doon, sa atin, sa batas natin, limitado lang tayo sa suspected terrorist. Hindi kasama dyan yung drug traffickers or drug users. So, sa kanila, covered. Pati drug personalities, pwede mong i-wiretap. Kaya epektibo sila sa kanilang anti-narcotics operations. Isa lang yun, yung legislations. Meron pa, marami pang ibang natutunan na ma-apply natin dito sa atin.
Hello, sir. Good evening po, Cedric Castigo from GMA7. Sir, can you elaborate on the ano po yung official name po? Project Double Barrel Alpha o 2? Can you please elaborate on this, sir? How is it different from the one we have right now?
Ito na yung Alpha or 2. And yun yan na yung revised Project Double Barrel. Yung iba kasi natawag 2. Yan parang part 2. Yung sa PNP naman, sabi ng Alpha. Ibig sabihin, extension of the original. So, either way. Pero sabi sa Alpha ang gagawin.
Okay. Sir, how is it different, sir, dun sa ngayon sa double barrel po natin, sir?
Ang focus is lumapad yung focus sa tukhang operations doon, limited lang doon sa double barrel 1. Yung tukhang operations, limited lang doon sa mga suspected na mga drug bahay ng mga drug users o drug users. Ngayon, sinama na namin yung schools, yung mga workplaces, yung mga like yung mga factories, yung labor force doon, papasukin na namin. entertainment industry, itong mga artista. Basta lumapad, marami nang nag-cover.
Totoo ba siya ng isa ng mga artista for injustice?
Ay, yung projects kasama nyo lahat. Yung sa artista, siguro mga 2 pages.
Pero pinahasa ni Presidente yung for injustice.
Oo, nakikita.
What is the minimum you can reduce it to? What is the minimum number you can reduce it to? Sabi niya, 1,000 celebrities, 1,000 politicians, 1,000 local government unit.
Siya, alam mo.
Siya po.
Sa kanya yung lista.
Pero galing po sa inyo yan.
Merong portion doon galing sa amin, hindi lahat galing sa amin.
Pero yung galing sa inyo, they are substantial, backed by solid evidence.
Hindi naman really...
Pwedeng panindigan sa bato.
Hindi naman with evidence, kundi validated lang, yung information validated at nagiging intelligence na siya. So, yun ang aming sinabi ko.
Ang number 1 sa listahan po, isang senador. Ang number 1 po sa listahan, isang senador. Pero meron pong senador.
Hindi ko pa nakita.
Jeff, kaparas, sige, 5.
Kaya Tony, hindi na kami follow-up lang po sa
Sige, Cedric.
Yan pati po na-mention niya yung 30 narco celebs. I suppose hindi niyo po papakalanan yung gabi sir, unless you wanna name names to me.
Ilan yun mo? Ito yung RD natin sa NCRPO, si General Albayalde. Ilan na yun? Yung narko pa natin? 40?
Oh, 40.
54? Yung lista ng SMQ, 54.
54 celebs.
Ang basis nito, yung mga celebrities na nahuli natin, celebrity suppliers, nagbibinta siya doon, kung sino yung pinagbibintahan niya, sino yung kanyang mga customer. Nakuha natin yung mga pangalan doon, at umabot sa 54. Yung sa amin lang yun, si Presidente meron pa siyang hawak doon na iba. So, isabi namin sa kanya, dagdag doon.
Sir, bakit?
54 celebrities, sir, 54.
54 po? 54.
Di wala nang natira celebrity.
Dami mo namin siya.
Pero sir, can you qualify or quantify further, sir? Yan ba ay mostly male, female, o mga singers, actors, or anong channel?
Rockstar.
Ano niyo ba sa entertainment yan?
May category sila profession. Kasi actor, pag sinabi celebrity, actor, which means man or woman actor. Sunod singer. Sunod boxer.
Basta ito, celebrities sa entertainment industry.
Entertainment ng boxer.
Wala.
Wala.
Entertainment industry.
So entertainment, movie, and singer. Pati dancers.
Pati host ng TV show.
TV show.
Hindi siya security sa actor.
TV show, host ng TV show na hindi newscast.
Nananalo daw na.
Yung news ba si Juan?
Yan yung mga parang noontime show, in Bulaga style.
Ito yung mga breathing show yun. Breathing show.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. Sir, kanina po, you mentioned na talagang pinag-iipin yung kampanya nyo against illegal drugs, sir. No? Sir, we've interviewed various experts. Ang sinasabi nila, long way before daw, yung mga kriminal, ang pinagkakakitaan nila is kidnapping, carnapping, saka gambling, sir. No? Sir, paano natin ma-assure, sir, na hindi nga po, aside sa minention nyo, can you elaborate more na hindi natin napapabayaan? Kasi kapag nabuksan natin tuluyan itong droga, baka mag-resort sila sa alternative na mga crimes na masama din or hindi rin magandang epekto sa mga business natin, nakawan or mga petty crimes.
Totoo po yun. Kaya hindi natin pinabayaan yung ibang operations natin, ibang law enforcement operations sa ibang forms of crimes. Dahil expected natin yan, the supply of shabu has gone down. So marami dito sa mga drug lords mawawala ng negosyo. And for sure, they have the criminal mind and they have the history. They have the background, they have the capability. Yung iba ito mag-ship ito to other forms such as carnapping, kidnapping, and other forms of crimes na talagang malakas yung return of investment. Hindi ba sa doon ka? Kasi ito dyan sa Bilibid, maraming nakulong dyan. Many of them were convicted of other heinous crimes like murder, kidnapping, kidnapping. But when they were inside the Bilibid, they learned, natututo sila na ang drug pala ang pinaka-lucrative form of illegal business. Kaya naglipas sila sa drugs. That's easy money. Least risk. Cellphone lang. Pag-order at saka yung distribution ng cellphone. Very safe ang operations nila. So, nag-chip sila sa drugs. Ngayon na nakatutok din sa drugs, nahirapan na sila. Sigurado ako, lilipat yan ng ibang craft, ibang trade.
So, na-foresee niyan, sir?
Na-foresee, no? Na most probably, lumipat talaga sila.
Kidnapping, kasi kidnapping. Yan. At saka yung mga robbery, yung big time robbery hold-up groups. Si Kulan ko naman, na-convicto because of robbery. Pero ngayon, nagiging landlord. Si kidnapping. Sino mo? Yung Dominguez group. Kidnapping yan. Pero ngayon, naging landlord na sa loob ng Bilibid. So, gano'n yan. Babalik yan sa dating gamit.
So, sir,
Dominic.
masasabi ba ninyong talagang wala ng drug trafficking inside the Bilibid prisons?
Well, as of now, kasi they conduct their trade through cellphone at saka Wi-Fi. Yung mga drug sa loob. Right now, since nag-assume yung SAP doon sa Bilibid, I can give you an assurance na wala na nakakapasok na kontrabando doon, mga cellphone at saka mga Wi-Fi equipment. But, hindi pa talaga natin totally kung ano yung nakapasok doon sa loob doon, hindi pa natin totally na eradicate lahat o na-confiscate lahat dahil hindi mo kaya bukalin yung buong lupa. Ang dami nang nakatago doon. Pagdandahan naman, dandahan na nakikita natin. Pero sinabi mo, wala nang drug trade doon sa loob ng Bilibid. Siguro, 10% na lang kung meron na dumadaan sa Bilibid yung transaction.
So, kailan kaya matatapos yung 10% na sinasabi niya?
Akin, assumption ko lang yun. Pero I can also safely say sa iyo na zero. Pwede rin maging 0 to 10%. Hanggat masiguro natin na wala na communication equipment sa loob ng Bilibid, 100% na tayo.
Cedric.
Yeah, sir. Kuha na ko lang po ngayon ng reaction kasi different media outlets are making or having their own fact checks on specifically yung drug war po. May konting discrepancy at hindi po tumutugma dun sa statistics na binibigay ni President Duterte like 4 million, 3 million involved in drugs. Pero according to DD, sa board po is 1.8 million. And then yung statement niya na 2 policemen are dying every day dyan sa drug war. Pero I think yung isang media outlet po sa sinabi is parang 1 per 8 days po. Anyway, hindi po ganun ka-consistent, sir. Kung ano ko lang po kayo na reaction, sir?
Basta kami, we will stick to our own data. Kasi yung ibang kagaya ng ABCBN, meron sa sariling recording, di ba? Hindi namin
Ito po, sir. Kasi po, sir, itong data, 4,407 drug addicts, drug lords, and criminal elements namatay. That's correct?
4,000?
407.
Baka kasama na dyan yung DUI, Death Under Investigation, at saka yung namatay sa police, legitimate police operation.
Ang inaamin niyo po, sir, is 1,661.
Yung police operation yan.
Tama po yan.
Yung legitimate police operation.
1,661.
Yes.
As of October 18. Tapos DUI, 2,730.
Galing sa akin yan.
Hindi po, galing sa magazine ko.
I-check ko. More or less
Tapos
yan.
may dalang hard copy na.
Nasa cellphone ko yun ba? Kaya wala yung
Lumalabas po sir, 4,407 divided by number of days of operations. 40 people die every day.
40?
40, apat na po. Die every day in the drugs war.
40?
Opo.
Ilang days na ba tayo? From July 1, recording mo?
From July 1. Tama ba yun, sir?
Yes. Yung as of July 1 to 25 October, yung pong Philippine Police Operations is about 1,714 na stability. Yung pong as per record from the Directorate for Operations, no? Yung pong killed in police operations from January 1 to 25 October is 1,700. No, July 1. Sorry. July 1 to October 25. No? It's 1,714. Yung po yung mga killed in police operations. While the arrested nationwide is 31,420.
Yung dead under investigation.
Yung pong the death under investigation is 3,001 as of October 21 po. That is from July 1.
Bali, sir, so pag napatay ng police, hindi na investiga.
No. Pag napatay po ng pulis yan, there is automatic an investigation coming from the Internal Affairs Service. Just to confirm or affirm yung regularity po ng operation. Lalo na especially if we receive complaints or information or press releases na merong irregularity, the Internal Affairs Service immediately investigate yung operation na po yun.
Jeff?
Sir, actually, the question po is about the status po ni Pangulong Duterte na like yung 4 million na sinasabi niya lagi or 3 million. Pero if you check with the Dangerous Drugs Board, it's just 1.8 involved. Kuha na po kayo reactions, sir. Kasi meron may mga reactions about this, sir, na sinasabing medyo hindi tama yung statistics na hawak ng ni Pangulo, sir.
Ang basis, ang sinabi ng Dangerous Drugs Board, 1.8 according to the survey, that was 2012 o 20, basta years back, sinabi na yan. Ang assumption ng Presidente, kaya sinasabi niya, meron sa explanation eh. As grown exponentially.
Can I explain, sir? Ang sabi niya, kinokod niya si General Santiago, who used to head PDEA, 3 million 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
3 years ago. Tapos in-extrapolate ni Presidente, by the end of this year, madadagdagan na 1 million. So 4 million. Sinabi niya kanina yan sa press con niya sa Naiya. So 4 million. So since he is the President, he is always right. Diba, sir?
So are you saying, sir, are you saying the President is not exaggerating when he says it's 4 million or 3.7 million?
Hindi. Na-assure pa rin natin na he is right. Pero siyang source na dating PDEA director eh. So yun na yung kinumpute niya. Yung kasama na yung interest growth. Ayun, gano'n na kadami.
Sir, magtanong lang ulit ako regarding dun sa trip niyo naman sa China. You mentioned yesterday and kanina na may naiuwi tayo na 115 boxes of equipments na pwede natin gamitin against the campaign against illegal drugs. Sir, may I ask, meron bang kapalit na hingi ang China sa pagbibigay ng equipment na yun? Or binigay lang nila yun ng kusa? Or what's the catch, sir?
Very honest yung China, nakausap mo. Sabi nila, no strings attached. No political strings attached. We want you to be effective in your war against drugs. Ito'y walang strings attached. So, that's it. ito kasi yung mga Oriental, hindi yung mga Chinese. Yung ugali nila, parang maramdaman mo pagkausap mo sila, ikaw Filipino, sila Chinese, maramdaman mo na totoo yung sinasabi nila eh. Hindi ba ako nagpamula, pero hindi ako nagpapamula, pero nakikita ko na they are true to their words. Impression ko lang yan, that's my personal impression. Gusto lang na tumulong.
Sir, in connection to that, you mentioned then na possibly dumalaw dito yung provincial director ng Fujian province. Maybe no, kailan sir natin in-expect na natin yung provincial director ng Fujian?
Next week ata, next week. Next week no, pupunta dito. Kaya we will update you pag dumating sila.
Sige sir, salubungin natin.
Pamalaman nyo, sabihan ko nila.
Tatanong Gamit. Sir, di ba may dalawang Chinese na kayo ng drug rehab center?
Dalawang Chinese?
O, dito tayo sila. 2 Chinese tycoons.
Saan ba na? Saan?
Yung binanggit kanina po ni Presidente sa speech niya.
Alam ko yung sa BBC yun, sa Port Magsaysay.
Opo, taka, meron pa isa. Wala, isa lang ako.
Yung isa Port
Ba't
Magsaysay.
balita ako sir, yung Chinese na yun, dating drug lord.
Wala.
Totoo ba yun? Balita ko lang po. Dominic?
Sir, what happened to that ship where Shabu laboratory was found? Doon sa Subic yata or doon sa Zambales?
Well, yung still, nasa custody mo natin, di ba? Kasi yung kaso, nakapile yung kaso.
Sino ang nasa custody?
EIDG din na crime lab, o nasa crime lab na.
Yung drug lord doon sa operation na yun.
Nakakulong, ma'am.
Nakakulong na sa
Sa bagay ko, nandun sa Subic. Yung magkulungan natin doon sa local police ng Subic.
Okay.
Nakapay ang kaso, hindi yun magkakalabas. Kung makalabas yun, patay yun.
Okay, so hindi nyo na-confiscate yung barko mismo?
Yung ano ma'am,
Yung vapor?
Nandun, nakatali, hindi yun nila makuha.
Okay, okay. So I have another question. Former President Fidel Ramos has expressed the opinion that during his time, his policy was not to shoot, not to kill, not to shoot to kill, but to disable. Because according to him, how can you investigate a suspect when he is already dead? So what is your take on that?
Kaya siguro dumami yung drug lord. Ha? Siguro dumami.
Saka sir, di ba, kanya-kanyang style yan, di ba? Kanya-kanyang style.
Oo, please, we respect his approach. Kanya-kanya diskarte. Kahit na si... mahirap na mag-compare, pero kanya-kanya
Si Hitler, si Hitler,
kanya-kanyang diskarte mo yan, kanya-kanya panahon. It happens na yung panahon namin, kung hindi niya type yung style ng President Duterte, pasensya. Basta, we will do our thing according to kailangan namin gawin at according to the law. Hindi namin ibabiolate yung batas.
Follow-up, Dominic.
Yes. I'd like to ask another question. You mentioned in your talk that you and your men are assisting in the traffic problem. Kailan mo nag-umpisa? Because lately parang nag-worsen ang traffic problem. So, paano kayo nakapag-assist?
Yung director namin ng Highway Patrol, si General Garjula, siya yung tinap ni Secretary of Transportation, si Secretary Tugadi. Si General Garjula ang tinap as mag-head ng ano ba? IAC, Inter-Agency Committee on Transportation. Sila nag-oversee sa traffic problem dito sa Metro Manila, lalong-lalo na sa law enforcement. So, yan yung papel niya ngayon. So, kung nag-worsen, Ano, tanggalin mo siguro natin si Cardona. Ano, nag-uusap na. Imbis na makatulong, lumala tuloy yung problema.
So napansin ko lang, I noticed, why don't you use your shock and awe effect on drugs sa traffic? Shock and awe.
Shoot to kill.
Diba? Stern. Kailangan may pit.
Ano, yung...
May pit, oh. Susunod ka, papatayin kita. Parang gano'n.
Susunod ko, papatayin ko yung makina ng sakyan mo.
Cedric, question.
Sir, wala sa magtali ko na lang. Sir, your retirement is on
2018.
2018 po, sir. Okay. No, sir, no less than President Duterte said that he will support you. I don't know kung anong position po, sir. Pero can you tell us of your plans probably after retirement? Kasi 2018 and then 2019. Any plans?
Maaga pa masyado kung mag-gawa ng plano. Ako, pinaubayan ko lang kay Lord yung buhay ko kung anong gusto niya.
Sir, sabi nila, you will be the next president of the Philippines.
Ang hirap naman yun. Buhay niya.
Si Maroas, gunner. Grace po, gunner. Ping Lacson, gunner. Coco Pimentel, gunner.
Bato, ganun. Ganun. Ganun.
Do you, anyway, sir, what is your thinking about politics?
Politics is good kung ang gusto mo ay magserbisyo sa taong bayan. Politics is bad kung ang gusto mo ay mangwarta. Kapera,
Di, bakit po idol niya si Duterte?
dahil nakikita ko sa kanya na talagang nasa puso niya yung pagsiservisyo, gusto niya kabutihan ng karamihan. Wala ko nakita corruption sa kanya, wala ko nakita yung bahay niya, napakabila niya. Ayaw sumakay ng luxury vehicle, pick up lang na Ford Ranger na luma. Ayaw yung gumamit.
Kayo po, anong ginagamit niyo? Pick up din.
Hindi ko Land Cruiser.
Walang cruiser?
Pero hindi akin yan, yung pinagamit lang ng negosyante dahil ayaw nila mamatay ako kaagad. Sabi kasi sinabi ko sa Presidente, Sir, baka magulat ka, magamit ako ng Land Cruiser na bulletproof. Ayaw kong gamitin ko, nahiya ako sa'yo eh. Sabi niya, ano ka, ulol ka, pahiya ka, kung mamatay ka dyan, paano? Sayang yung pinagamit sa'yo, hindi mo ginagamit. Kaya nag-insist kang nahiya ka na masita ka, hindi mo gamitin. Gamitin mo. So, ginamit ko. Pero pinahirap sa akin ng Land Cruiser na bulletproof.
Tapos napansin ko, why did he double your deadline from 6 months to 1 year? Because he wants you to stay longer in office?
Hindi, nakita niya.
Kasi sabi mo, magre-resign ka by January.
Talagang magka-surrender ako sa kanya. I am offering my services sa kanya kung gusto niya i-terminate dahil unsuccessful ako. Nag-fail ako sa aking warong class.
So, after 12 months, on June 30, 2017, what would you have done that we will remember you by?
Yung what?
Ilan ang napatay, ilan na arresto, ilan ang nakulong.
Remember sana na ito yung Chief PNP na nakabigay sa ating balik ng safer environment na yung ordinaryong tao hindi na matakot lumabas anytime of the day sa kalsada dahil safe na. Yun ang simple.
Pwede mo pa-translate for the benefit of our diplomats in English.
I want to be remembered when I retire that I am the Chief PNP who was able to give back safer streets and safer environment to our people. That's my simple wish, my simple dream before I retire.
So, and you will retire in 2019? 2019?
2018,
2018. Anong month po?
January.
Dali lang pa.
Parang 2017 yun.
Ganun din. Cedric, question?
Okay. Sige, I'll ask another question.
The general impression is that you have been raiding squatter areas kaya madaling patay mga yung pinapatay yung mahihirap. Kailan daw kayo mag-raid sa mga exclusive villages like Forbes Park and San Lorenzo Village? Bakit hindi pa nangyayari? Wala kayong evidence? Or hindi sila kasama sa narco list?
Mahirap patayin yung mayayaman, ma'am, dahil marunong sila. Ayaw nila magbenta ng drugs. Ayaw, hindi sila nababypass eh. Hindi sila nababypass. Yung mga mahirap ang palaging nagbibenta. Kaya sila ang nababypass yung presyo. At sila ang lumalaban. Sila ang lumalaban, yung mga mahirap. Pero kung tanungin mo kami, bakit mahirap ang palagi na mamatay, where are the big fishes? Sinong big fish na nakuha namin? Ayun, drug lord, 2 inchi kahapon patay. Doon sa Kawayan, Isabela. Yun, yung drug lord talaga yun. Patay. Lumaban. Kaya nga, mahirap naman kung mayaman ka. Kung hindi ka lumalaban, hindi ka naging mag-away sa pulis, hindi ka mamamatay. Pero pag mahirap ka man, umayaman, pag lumaban ka, may chance na talaga mamamatay ka. Dahil hindi ba talaga ang pulis gusto magpapakamatay sa sarili niya? Dapat ang kriminal ang mamatay.
So libre talaga ngayon yung mayayaman.
Ma'am?
Libre sila.
Ay, hindi libre.
But you said nahihirapan kayong pumasok sa kanila.
That's reality, di ba? May nakita ka bang mayaman na nagpupus ng drugs sa kalsada? Wala man. But it doesn't mean na hindi namin upakan yung mayaman kung we have enough evidence to pin them down. At saka pag nakita namin talaga na sila nagtitinda, talagang tatrabahoin namin yan. Pag lumaban, kaya ang standard natin dito, hindi po yung economic status ng tao. Kundi ano yung kanyang response during our police operations, during the conduct of police operation. Wala akong pakialam kung mayaman ka o mahirap, pag in-danger mo yung buhay ng police, pag conduct ng operation, mamamatay ka talaga. Ganun po yun. Kahit na mayaman ka o mahirap. Nagkataon lang na mas maraming mahirap na engage sa drug trade. Street pushers, marami sila. At sila ang pinaka-vulnerable talaga. Hindi ba tayo pili na, uy, huwag natin ito operitan dahil mahirap ito. Ang hanapin ito yung mayaman. So selective justice na naman yan. Ang magreklamo naman yung mga mayaman. Bakit kami sinisingil out niyo, inoperitan niyo palagi? Marami naman dyan mga mahirap. So dapat wala tayong pinipili.
Any question from the audience? Any question? General, BATO dela Bangladesh.
General, thank you very much for giving us a broad outline of your activities. And it is not only related to the drugs. You mentioned about corruption, crime, and also gambling. I'd just like to relate my experience when I went to Davao.
President, the Ambassador of Bangladesh is also a general.
So I went to Davao in 2014, and across Marco Polo Hotel, where I was staying, there are many markets which operate at night, the night bazaar. So at around 2:30, I was asking those girls that you are going to go home at night with all the money. Aren't you afraid that someone will snatch you? And you know, they told me, no sir, we are well protected. Our mayor has kept us protected. And that is how we are doing business. We work in the daytime, at night we spend some time to earn some extra money. And with this money, we send our children to school, we take care of our family, which was quite an inspiration for me. And as you have said that you want to keep the streets safe. Safer. I would like to tell you also, I've been here for 4 years. I've heard about the kidnappings and the snatching. Some of my friends here, their children were kidnapped for large ransom, and they paid the ransom and then they were released. What I hear now is there is no more kidnappings, and I hear that the crime rate has virtually gone down. So your campaign against the drug is also giving some other dividends, other benefits to the people. It's not only drugs, because the other criminals are also afraid now, and they have virtually gone underground. So I would like to commend you for the actions that you are taking. Me coming from a military background, I know how it works. That we take oath to protect the nation. We take oath to achieve an objective, and you are doing that. You have also mentioned about the gambling. As you know that Bangladesh lost about $81 million. And this money it went through some casinos. And there was a syndicate which was involved in it. And we are getting some good results. As President Duterte himself had told me that he will do his best to ensure that we get our money, and we are getting some results. But I would like to address this issue of gambling. You mentioned that you are also going after illegal gambling. But this particular incident of $81 million possibly was one of the biggest illegal money heist which went into gambling. And much of our money has disappeared into the casinos. So I would like to seek your assistance, sir, that Bangladesh can see some light. Also, as you are bringing a lot of achievements on the drugs, that Bangladesh also stands to request you, or we request you that we get your assistance to get back our money, as President Duterte himself had told me personally on 4th of June during the Thanksgiving rally. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. We will do our best. You are right when you say that the criminality has gone down. In fact, I am very happy to tell you that the highest that we have achieved during the weekly assessment that we have was 49% decrease in the daily crime volume. So, very big difference. And if you have to go around in the slum areas in Metro Manila, you try to ask the people themselves, the lonely people, you try to ask themselves. They will tell you that the situation has really reversed. Before, you were afraid to get out of the streets because of the presence of petty criminals, the drug pushers, the users, snatchers. A lot of them are roaming around. Right now, they will tell you that they are freely roaming around. The good people are freely roaming around, and the criminals are the ones hiding inside their houses. The criminals are not afraid to get out of their houses. So it's a very big difference.
Maybe we can ask the ambassador here, how come Bangladesh got 40 billion from China and our president got only 24 billion?
Well, I can't compare. I don't think it's right to compare. Bangladesh and China has been great friends for a long time, and China has been involved with the development of many of our infrastructure for a very long time. And President Xi, he had visited Bangladesh just about 2 weeks ago, and he has come forward with a very big package, basically on the infrastructure, and also I think there are energy-related developments also. So it's to the tune of $40 billion and over many years. But I think that's because of the long-term relationship that we have, and the Philippines have just started. So I wish you well, because China has been helping us for a very, very long time, and Bangladesh has really gained from our relationship with China.
So, Ambassador, 24 billion is a good start.
I mean, it's bilateral, but I feel it's a good beginning. It's a good beginning.
Because I think we were shortchanged. We gave out our claim on under the arbitral court. We gave up Scarborough. We almost agreed to joint development, and all we got is 24 billion, which is even less than what our OFW workers remit to the Philippines. So, to put it bluntly, our president could have just told jokes before OFWs, and they could have doubled their remittances to 50 billion without us giving up economic zone territory and sovereign rights. Di ba, no, General Bato?
Sabi ko yan, sir, hindi naman talaga ginigive up. Hindi natin ginigive up. Yung decision ng arbitral decision was, sabi niya, dyan muna yan, status quo lang muna, huwag muna natin yung ulitin, mag-build up natin ng magandang relations, and hindi naman natin kinukuntis, hindi naman natin binabasura, but dyan muna yan.
How about you, sir? You went also to China with the president. And the president keeps saying that the big drug lords of the Philippines are Chinese or are in China. Did you meet some of them? The president keeps saying that the big drug lords of the Philippines are Chinese or are in China. Did you meet some of them during your visit?
Hindi ko sigurado. Baka meron kayo kamay sa akin, hindi ko alam. Marami, maraming Chinese na rin ko.
Cedric, question? Jeff? Pass? Dominic? Pass? Any more questions from the audience? Yes, please. How much time do you have with you, sir? How much time? May gagawin pa kayo? Yeah. Okay, siya.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. May gabi, sir. First of all, personally, and among
Please introduce yourself.
yeah, Manny Fernandez with Venex Group. First of all, we would like to personally and among my friends commend the PNP for job well done, your accomplishments. I think everybody would agree that we will not realize how big the problem of drugs is without Duterte administration. Now, maybe, if not all people, sometimes they have doubts on our police operation. I don't know, is it possible to maybe, with the advancement in technology right now, if we can cover via video our police operation so that we can justify that it is really legitimate. I think in the US and even in advanced countries, there's a SOP. One of the police personnel who does the operation covers it via video, but to make sure and to prove the okay operation happened, especially during investigation. I don't know if it is possible in our situation in Philippines.
An announcement to make.
We are considering that one.
Parang
So now,
nagkakatin kayo.
mas priority ko yung post protection natin mga tao. Kung mayroon ako extra money, extra resources, extra
Special counsel,
sigurin
pwedeng
ko muna
itawag sa'yo. Mas
makabili mo
okay
ng
ba
mga best na aking mga benefits, output best. Then maybe later, yung mga camera naman. Dahil ko tayong camera, justify yung action namin. Katamaan yung police ko, mag-disgrasya sa police ko. Unahin ko muna. Then later, that's in the order of priority. Later yung mga value camera niya.
Any more questions? Yes, ma'am.
In case you want some publicity or ano, you can call me. Pagas from where?
Yes, ma'am. Sa basic training ng police, may isang module doon, yung human rights. At saka, a good number of hours are spent for human rights education. Ganun po, ma'am. At saka, lahat ng aming career courses, after the basic mandatory course, yung lahat ng career courses for advancement, mayroon talaga module dyan dedicated for human rights community. So, alam po nila yung kanilang ginagawa about human rights.
Any more questions? Yes, Henry.
Thank you, Tony. No? Of course, this more than a question kasi sinabi mo kanina, di ba, yung 24 billion parang short change tayo sa Bangladesh. Ano? But I have to tell you, Tony, no, that 24 billion is just the tip of the iceberg. Kasi ito, 24 billion, alam mo, alam naman ni General Bato, kasama ko naman si President. Even during the sidelines, at least 5 Chinese investors approached me. No? One of them would like to revive the Cagayan River na power na generating. Marami pang mga big tickets, nakapila pa yan, hindi pa nakapasok yan. O siguro nakapasok yan, makakapos ng more than 50 billion pa yan. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. So let's wait for, for a few more months na makikita natin. Unti-unti papasok yan. But again, of course, also, the Federation of Filipino Chinese Chamber of Commerce, in which nandito kami lahat, in full force, we would like to thank General Bato for doing good job. But here, meron akong natanggap na kanina ng mga text dito, but sana mamaya I can forward to you, medyo confidential yan, but I want to relate to you na parang may mga scandals pa nandito eh.
Hindi mga kidnapper yan, hindi mga kidnapper.
Hindi yun. But these are policemen that nahuli na nga ng black puso yan, may hiningi ng pera yun para mapalaya sila. Meron na ulit. Sige.
Thank you. And congratulations, Sandy. You are also doing a good job with your rice program. Any more questions?
Saka salamat din sa bigas. Binigyan ko ng bigas.
Sarap ng bigas niya. Sir,
hindi ko pa naluto eh. Kaya na ko siya eh. Kaya bukas, breakfast.
Sir, tatanungin ko po, do you have any particular cell phone hotline that an aggrieved citizen can immediately reach for response and quick reaction?
Yes sir, bibigyan ko na pa yung number ko, 0917-710-9800.
Ang sumasagot po dyan, hindi robot.
Ako sa kayo aking idikap mo, busy ako yung idikap mo.
Sige, salamat po. And may maraming salamat sa General. You know, it's our tradition here to have the PNP Director General to be our guest every year. Baka next year pagbigyan mo kami.
Habol lang sir, habol.
Pahabol na salita yan. Miss Beautiful.
Hi sir, kung walang kami na avansya po ng CNN Philippines. Sir, kung walang po kami ng reaction about the police operations sa bahay po ni Ronnie Dayan in Urbis Rondo, Pangasinan.
Kailan nangyari?
Kanina sir.
Kanina?
Opo sir.
Wala pa akong report, hindi ko pa nabasa ang report na ano balita ko, kung nagawa sila?
Sir, hindi lang po si Ronnie Dayan. Sir, ano na lang po latest kay Ronnie Dayan?
Ha?
Ano na lang po latest kay Ronnie Dayan? Do we know ano yung huling whereabouts po?
Ang latest na balita ko sa kanya, he was jumped, pinalitan siya ng bagong, di ba? Double po doon sa Senado na sa Congress na investigation.
Yung pumalit ng motorcycle guy. Motorcycle guy.
Yun ang latest sa kanya.
So wala pa kayong yung report yung kanina, sir?
Wala pa. Titingnan ko kung may pinadala na.
Bali sir, kung hindi nyo alam, hindi nyo pinag-iinitan pala si Ronnie Dayan. Hindi mo alam eh. Normally, sir, negative. Sir, positive. Yeah. Question, additional questions, CNN Philippines? Yeah, last question now.
Sir, yung okay na lang kay Kerwin, ba up to 3 weeks bago maiuwi si Kerwin. Yung circumstances paano siya nakapunta doon, sir, yung ba i-investigate din? Kasama sa program?
Yes, sinisigan namin. From Malaysia, di ba? Manila to Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia to Hong Kong to ano yung isang city dyan sa Middle East? Hong Kong to...
Abu Dhabi?
Hindi, yung Abu Dhabi ang last.
Doha ba siya?
Dubai. Hong Kong to Dubai to Abu Dhabi. Yan yung naging ruta niya.
May legal time, sir, kung Pinoy ba yung o foreign yung nag-assist sa kanya para siya nakapalipat-lipat?
Kaya siya nahuli dahil lumapit siya sa Pinoy travel agency. Yung travel agency na yun, maraming chismoso. Nag-report sa amin. Yung nakakita sa kanya doon na nag-process ng kanyang extension authorized stay sa Abu Dhabi, gusto niya magpa-extend. Kaya lumapit siya sa travel agency. At doon siya nakilala.
Meron kaya siyang backer doon sa Abu Dhabi? Someone na who helped him enter?
Hindi pa natin masabi. Wala pa natin yan. Anyway, coming na siya. Kung matapos na sila doon, pumunta dito.
Pero nasa...
Mahirap kasi ganito. Sa ngayon, mahirap kung istiga sa ganyan doon. Iba yung protocol ng Abu Dhabi Police. Hanggang hawak nila yung suspect, sila lang pwede mag-interrogate. Ikaw, out of the picture, kaya hindi ka pwede mag-interrogate. Kaya panakaw-nakaw lang yung questions na lang sila ginagawa ng ating mga investigator doon. Kaya mahirap yung protocol nila.
Kailan effectively mapupunta sa custody ng Philippine Forces si Kerwin po?
Wala pa sa binigyan ng exactong time. Basta tumatakbo yung ating pag clear na siya o biyahe dito, saka na natin makuha.
Sila magbabiyahe sa atin?
Hindi, tayo may tao tayong kunin natin ipasa nila.
Well, maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Director General.
Our list after the illegal drug war. We have taken the big leap in the campaign against crime and illegal drugs, and the gains have been so far tremendous. But we are taking similar leaps as well in the pursuance of our administrative goals and transformation agenda while we continue the President's directives. Our vision as the nation's premier law enforcement agency is not lost on us. We still aim for a PNP that is highly capable, effective, and credible. A PNP that works in partnership with a responsive community towards the attainment of a safer place to live, work, and do business. Along this line, we are also cleansing our own ranks of police scalawags and misfits. I have told my men that I profess a zero tolerance for police personnel involved in illegal drugs, especially the so-called ninja cops. Sabi ko kanina sa aming command conference, it's just terminated a while ago. No mercy. The policy is no mercy for these ninja cops. No mercy. This is why we have been conducting random drug tests in police units nationwide, and we continue to investigate police personnel suspected of involvement in the illegal drug trade. As of the latest report, 164 PNP personnel have tested positive for illegal drug use, and 7 of these are civilian employees. They have been given the appropriate sanctions. While we punish police scalawags and misfits, we make sure to reward the deserving members of the organization. This past 2 months, I have gone around all the PNP camps on command visits to give awards to personnel and units that are working hard to check on the morale and welfare of our personnel on the ground. And of course, to encourage them more to do better in the performance of their duties. I want to ensure that they remain motivated personalities and 40 others sustaining injuries in the line of duty. The discovery and dismantling of Shabu laboratories in different parts of the country contributed significantly to the decline in the illegal drug supply. Among those dismantled were the biggest Shabu laboratory in the country located in Araya, Pampanga, another Shabu laboratory in Barangay Lingunan in Valenzuela City, a Shabu Tiangi in Marawi City, another clandestine laboratory in Las Piñas City, a floating Shabu laboratory at the seawaters of Subic in Zambales, a drug storage in Angeles City, and another Shabu lab in Magalang, Pampanga. And just yesterday, I visited another mega Shabu laboratory that was raided by our anti-illegal drugs group operatives together with the PDEA in Kawayan, Isabela. This is of course highlighted by the raid of the new Bilibid prisons that led to the relief of the usual jail guards and the deployment of more than 300 Special Action Force troopers to secure the area. From July to September 2016, government anti-illegal drug operations netted 16.363 billion worth of Shabu, which is 4 times higher than the confiscations recorded last year. So we can just imagine how much illegal drugs have been going around the country these past years, destroying the lives of our countrymen. We are targeting 3 foreign drug rings operating in the country, which are using our coastlines, airports, and seaports, and even mail and parcel services to transport illegal drugs, including controlled precursors and essential chemicals. I am talking about the Filipino-Chinese drug syndicates, the African drug syndicates, and the Mexican Sinaloa drug cartel. We have our hands full and are working 24/7. We cannot afford to waste any more time in this campaign. Maraming bumabati ko sa kampanyang ito, ngunit alam nating mas maraming natutuwa sa ating mga tagumpay laban sa droga. The bottom line is that the figures I mentioned earlier and the successful operations now translate to less illegal drugs and less crime in the country. The incidence of rape, physical injuries, robbery, theft, and kidnapping have significantly decreased. With less drugs to destroy the lives of our countrymen, especially our youth, and the resulting less crime in the streets. We now expect less fear and go about their daily lives. Hindi natitinag ang pulisya, and we will continue with our rock-hard determination to finish our mission. Double barrel remains in course as we now evaluate the achievements of the past 3 months with lessons learned from our initial operations, and with even more lessons gained from the Colombia experience in successfully battling the drug menace, which I had the opportunity to see during my recent trip to Colombia. We now hope to implement better and stronger double barrel operations to finally flush out illegal drugs in the country. We will be coming out with a double barrel 2 very soon. At this point, I want to assure you and the rest of our countrymen that while the PNP has been focusing its efforts and resources in the war against illegal drugs, we have not been remiss in our other campaigns. We continue to operate relentlessly against carnap, kidnap, ransom, and other criminal gangs, and conduct operations against illegal logging, illegal fishing, smuggling, piracy, and lost firearms, among others. And as I have declared recently, an intensified drive against illegal gambling is next in Please take your seat. Thank you, Ma'am Soflit, for that very kind introduction. Sorry, I was wrong when I told you that I did not prepare a speech. Yun palang ginawa sa akin ng speech writer ko. Kaya, pagbigyan mo na ako basahin ko ito dahil pupunti lang naman, ilang pages lang. The MOPC President, Jose Manuel Romualdez, is not around, or is with the President. Chairman of the Board, Antonio Lopez, officers and members of the MOPC, honored guests, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. This is my first time to face the Manila Overseas Press Club in my capacity as the Chief PNP. And I am truly honored to be with the fine gentlemen and beautiful ladies of the nation's oldest press club. Kinakabahan man ako, masaya naman akong haharap sa inyo sa pagkataon ito. The MOPC has been in existence in 1945 or a good 71 years ago, and as such has certainly been witness to the unfolding of the nation's recent history. And with this history now continuing to unfold, the Philippine National Police shares for historic moments to its pages as we heed the President's call for change in the entire country. I like to think that this is an interesting time in our history, given the vicious war against illegal drugs and crime that we have been waging since President Duterte came to power. I say interesting because never in the history of the PNP we have waged such relentless war against illegal drugs and crime all over the country. And never have we seen such large numbers of surrenderers in our anti-drug campaign. After I took my oath as Chief PNP in July, I wasted no time in getting down to work, given the President's directive to the PNP to eradicate the illegal drug menace in 6 months. It was indeed a tall order, but it was one I was ready to heed at all costs. Fortunately for me, the 6 months was extended by the President to another 6 months or so. This was after we all saw how deep and extensive the illegal drug menace has affected our country. Sobrang nagkakabahala na ito at tunay na nakakalungkot at nakakagalit. As I assume command over the PNP, we took what we now call a big leap on administration, transformation, and operations. High on our agenda, of course, is the war on illegal drugs through campaign plan Double Barrel with Oplan Tokhang and Project HBT, or High Value Target, as its components. We have reached the 2 million mark in the implementation of Oplan Tokhang from July 1 to October 18, with police operatives visiting a total of 2,247,981 homes nationwide to convince suspected illegal drug users and pushers to surrender, stop their illegal activities, and bend their ways. This has resulted in the surrender of 746,066 drug personalities, of which 691,788 are users and 54,278 are pushers. A total of 29,910 have been arrested, while 1,661 have been killed in anti-drug operations. This was not without losses on the part of the police. However, with 13 policemen losing their lives during encounters with drug